Yeah,
you are still
we do
there.
apologize.
Yeah. We're ready by the looks of things. Ence take the knife and they started on the CT side. And Big starting off this T pistol by heading over towards B, it would seem, early on as the fast boost comes in. And Dia is going to walk on these players.
Oh, he's going to be up close. There's so many bodies on the other side of this one. First kill is his, but they actually decide not to swing. They're going to wait for him to peek into them.
Oh, I don't know if they're going to be ready for Valde. Well, they might be now. I think he was just spotted there. Rotation of Snappy comes on in. They need to clear Valde out of this position. Spots him out, and he is going to try and fall away. Flashes do go over. Snappy cowering behind the bench right now as the T's make their way out onto the site. Try and find these kills, and they will do so. There's two looking for a third onto Valde. Know exactly where he is, and eventually we'll just peek him. They jump through the smokes, and Pi is only able to come away with one, and Big take this first round.
That's just great from Big, right? I mean, even after you lose the initial fight, you just hold on to the play. You know that D is either gonna fall back and just assume that the B bomb side is completely clear, or he's gonna go for a white peek to confirm if there's somebody else after that. And well, they wait for him. He peeks right into them. They get the kill. They slow it down. Don't really rush into it. They wait it out, risking that, Ence are going to have a stack going up towards that V-bomb side, but still the flashes were pretty much impeccable there. And every single player of Ence trying to get a kill from a nice off angle just gets flashed off it, gets spotted, and then gets fragged. That was the most German pistol round you ever see. Right? I mean, perfect flashes all over the place, nobody really being able to see anything. That's kind of the thing that Tapson and, GobB have always been famous for. Having, some of the best utility usage out there in the world.
Yeah, definitely just makes those rounds a whole lot more easier. And while it looked pretty straightforward and simple for the side of Big, this round, not so much, especially with the upgrades on the other side. One of them being a scout, another one being a deagle, and they both combine to find the first kill of the round. Sin goes down, no support at all, and no chance of a trade frag, not yet. Crimbo is still frantically looking for it, as they do try and split towards this B site, but nothing to be seen just yet. Crimbo trying to make his way forward. Snappy up close, and well, more damage being done. Crimbo down to 20 HP. Snappy needs to be careful though.
Yeah, there's a player up close next to him in the B apps. Even if he wants to support his teammates, Tapson is going to clear him out, gets the kill. Keto wins another one, and in fact, he's going to double up and double down. Sunpea's finally on the rotation, is going to drop one with the scout, and Madden from short actually gets a double on the Mac 10, switches back to the Deagles, pulls the third, but Keto with the third under his belt is going to close out the round for Big. That was way too scrappy there.
Yeah, nasty round, lots of nasty surprises, and with only one player surviving, you can see Madden instantly purchasing up an M4 here, so maybe we might see Ence forced a little bit more behind this, but it seems to just be a hero rifle. They're happy enough with just a hero rifle. Right? Yeah, just about to say that. Yeah, it's definitely justified after only one surviving, but it's a straight up B rush, it would seem, from Big in retaliation.
Yeah, they want to capitalize on the lack of utility here on the CT side, and feels like they will clear it out every single angle. That's going to be one of the easiest rounds you're going to see today. This game especially, Madden still manages to drop one, but it's a really simplified way to approach a round like that. Quite effective as well, The CTs don't really have anything to stop a potential play like that with, unless someone goes absolutely nuclear and you walk into the M4 of Madden and he collects 3 kills. This is probably a round that will go in favor of the Ts. The B-bomb side being quite problematic in the first 3 rounds. Going back in stats, though, as we pointed out, this is one of the derbies of the day, in fact. Big did play against Havo and Mirage, and that was a fairly close game. It was a 19-15. It was the one and only overtime we've had so far, and something that you might have not been aware of, actually, Jack. Tapson did drop 38 kills in that game. This is how crazy it was. So, yeah, speaking about the Tapson carry, he was the one and only reason that they did manage to get the better of Havo. Last time Ence played on Mirage, it was at the Major. They lost 9-16 against Mouse.
Just a little bit Fortunate there, Madden actually getting out of that one alive. The spray wasn't just right on Tabson. He tried to go for the pre-fire, but wasn't able to direct his bullets onto him. Eventually just ran out of time. This going around here from Ence, they'll be hoping to turn it into their first victory on this CT side, as the majority of big players wait outside A. Some pious with this AWP. On top stairs, is the peak going to be good? Right into Sampaius's line of sight. He knocks down Sin without any issue at all. And Big now might have to readjust.
Yeah, might have to, but they're not really going to change the plans all that much, right? Because Sin was the only one that gets spotted, so Sampaius getting that kill, you're kind of letting the AWP move away with this play, but he's going to stick around. No reason to change the plan right now. Big, they still have a decent amount of utility, but with 2 players towards Palace, you gotta feel like Crimbo and Tabson have to set them up in a nice way. There's the smokes being thrown over, Molotovs as well, flashes in, and Madden, he's gonna be the first line of defense.
40 seconds and not an awful lot of utility left for the big side. They can't put any smokes down. They're just going to have to flash and try and take the fight with the CT player. It's a fight that they win. Bomb will go down, and so will Keto afterwards. And Dia will find a second on that one. Samson out of the round, and now it is down to just Favin and Crimbo. But as the smoke comes towards Palace, Favin tries to peek, and Sampaius will stop him. Crimbo now with a big job on to keep this perfect start from Big alive. But instead of keeping that alive, he decides to keep himself alive. No chance in the round. He knows this. He's looking for the save. And it looks like Ence won't be looking for him either.
It's a bit of a risky move to go for the reverse bomb plant there. By the way, I feel like this is why the planter died as well, because the smoke's faded. Obviously, they want to go for it because it's going to open up more space for the pulse plant, right? It's going to make it a little bit harder for the CTs to isolate a comfortable defuse there. Lovely work by Diho picking up that double kill. And as we pointed out, by the way, that slowdown from Big actually worked out perfectly, right? Because we saw Sampaius rotating over towards the B-bomb side, and Madden was actually all alone towards A. Had only the support of Diho, but he was isolated by the smokes. So the execution was good enough, at least to guarantee the bomb plant, and still managed to pick it up though, and Big go back to the roots. Another B play.
Snappy tries to get out of harm's way for the moment, but on the fadeaway does manage to find a kill, and well, the molly just burns into a crisp. And now the Ents boys have complete control of this round. Another big HG will take Crimbo down. Keto refrags one with the AWP, but it's not going to be enough. You're pretty much trapped here towards the B apartments, and absolutely no way are Ents going to let you out, not without a fight anyway. And Valde, he just keeps taking fights because he keeps winning them, full of confidence. 4 kills for him and 2 rounds for Ents.
Yeah, we mentioned Valde, and you know, the fact that he's so in love with not being the B anchor anymore. Well, he's still playing towards the B bomb side, but you know, being the short player, you get a little bit more action. You get to move around in between middle and the B bomb side. You can still support Snappy if needed, and Snappy getting that first kill there onto Favin was absolutely massive. You know, shutting down the Mac 10 is going to allow Valde to get up close and support you. And the T's could be tunnel visioned on you for some time, and this is exactly the time period that Valde used there. An early reset to the big economy gonna be put back to the Pistols, as we pointed out, and so far have been quite successful taking on Big. The previous time those two faced off against each other, it was at the RMR, and Ence did win that one 2-0. It was Nuke and Dust to a 16-14 on Nuke and a 16-9 on Dust. And before that, it was at the Blast Spring Finals, which means that we're speaking about, you know, Ence with Spinks and Hades still. And once again, it was a 2-0 for Ence. It was a 16-13 on Nuke, if I'm not mistaken, a 19-16 victory on Mirage. It was an overtime game. So quite close. Maybe we're in for another.
Maybe.
We've had only 1 overtime so far, and it was big on Mirage. I'm just saying.
We had 2. We cast one of them. Long day, Ted. Long day.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm an old guy, and it's starting to get tiring. But yeah, Ence actually did play the other overtime game. I just remembered it. You know, I just remembered that the 4-14 comeback was there. Yeah.
You just didn't want to believe that a 4-14 comeback was possible, right? You know.
Yeah, to be fair. And they still lost the game, which is kind of... it's really disappointing, right?
Very disappointing. Of course, that's the only loss that we've seen Ence on the receiving end of. Only loss so far of the group stage. They could be on the receiving end of another one here, and that would pretty much, well, not pretty much, it would rule them out of contention for that top spot. Of course, Big tied with them, and Sprout, the other team that are still in with a shout as well. They're currently 3-1 down over on the mainstream.
Yeah, Gamer Legion 3-1 up on the T side of Overpass with a really good start. For those of you that didn't know, we have simultaneous games over at the A and the B stream because there is so many games that need to be played in only one day. Every single one of those 5 teams, or rather 6 teams, needs to play 5 games respectively today. St. Pius, though, even though this is his 5th game, he looks on fire, manages to pick up the first, and there's been a lot of damage done to the big academy boys as well. As soon as they start walking into this bomb site, they're going to be softened up massively.
Yeah, this is a really strong position to find yourself in, right? I mean, all 5 alive, Keto and Favin, 1 bullet away from death, surely. And look at the position of Madden here as the bomb tries to make its way back. Madden will take him down, and Tabson has a quick look around, but that pretty much seals the round there. They know exactly where the bomb is. They don't really have to move a muscle. Madden can just kind of lock this down pretty much on his own, and the mid players, the ladder player, has to move, surely. But where do you really go from here? You have to make your way back. You have to make a lot of noise, but once that noise is made, I mean, Valde's in a really good position just to peek out and really punish the T's. So it looks like it's going to be the save from Big, but Ence are going to begin to move now. They're going to begin to look for these rifles and try and take them away.
Yeah, I still feel like it's going to be good for Ence to get this round with 5 surviving, but Favin being low on HP, this is a really scary prospect, and he actually felt where things were going, but he's going to go down. Same for Tabson. This is such a massive disaster. Keto is the only one surviving. Look at Favin and Tabson. They have 200 combined in the bank. And it was about time. Gobi is going to join in, try and help out the boys. That was quite devastating. It's good awareness from Big, you know, realizing that this is a round that you should probably give up. You're pretty much locked out of it. But then again, Ence, they have the money to go for a play like that. Look at the finances. Valde is over 10k. Snappy Diha above 7. I believe St. Pius was over 8. And, you know, even though we can see some signs of, you know, the players starting to get a little bit tired after such a long day, they've been able to bounce back into this one quite nicely, getting a couple crucial kills, making sure that 2 of the big boys won't really have a lot of cash going into the next 2 rounds even.
Just disappointing, really, isn't it? Looking at the T's money and seeing that they've got that little amount of money and they only have Glocks and no armor. It's just relatively unfortunate, but Ence will be delighted about it. They'll be delighted about picking up the opening kill as well. Still dangers in the round, though, in the shape of Keto and Crimbo. If they decide to turn it on here, this definitely could still be a big round. Excuse the pun.
Yeah, smoke out. You're trying to set up the rifle for success, but unfortunately, it's not really going to work out for now. Flashes are great. Big just locked out of the round completely here. Primed up, and Pius is going to close it out. A double kill for him, 2 for Madden, 1 for Valda. As we move forward, Ence starts to look quite solid here on the CT side. It's not only about winning the rounds at this point. Money is looking fantastic as well. We touched upon that in the previous round, and it's just going to get better and better. And it's just the pistol round and the conversions that Big did manage to actually get away with. So as soon as we've seen Ence on the guns, they're actually yet to drop a round. It's quite impressive. But Big will try and switch it up a little bit. Another half by A execute. A lot of nades, and those are the rounds in which, you know, German teams are so dangerous, especially when you think about a big. You can bet your money that every single nade here is going to be picture perfect. Question is, how do Ence deal with this one? This one is either going to go really well for Ence or horribly wrong.
Depends what they want to do. Does Madden want to stay on the site and try and put up a fight, or does he want to fall away and play for the retake? Because Diha isn't going to be too much support. He is going to get a smoke down here, and Madden is just going to try and play around it. But the molly burns him just that little bit. Instead, he turns his attention, looks towards the palace as the ramp play does come in. He's going to swing wide, lines up two, goes for the transfer onto the third. It's a little bit messy, does a lot of damage, but won't come away with that third kill. Now, Ence still can rotate on in and stop this before the bomb does go down, and Sampaius is going to drop it. A nice flick. Grimbo, in the meantime, has used his deagle to find just one, but Snappy rotates in. He's going to deny the plant, looks for the second. He gets that one as well. It's a 6-3 scoreline, and do now have a 3-round lead. And finally, we're going to see Big on a decent buy for the first time in a long time after their money was very, very harshly reset. But they really need to start putting it to good use.
Yeah, that's really devastating for Big as well, right? Even though they've been able to do some damage in those rounds and nearly even get really close to a bomb plant, let's put it that way. They kind of had to play the double half by simply because of that round where they lost 2 members after the time ran out. Now they switch it up, fast presence towards middle. Looks like they have an idea that there could be a player towards underpass, but D is not really going to let them cross there. Still, Crimbo is going to find the refract, and they still have an idea about Madden, but that's not going to stop him from picking up one more. Valda shuts down Crimbo, and just like that, the middle presence from Big has been absolutely annihilated.
Oh, Valda still winning that fight onto Keto. It does a lot of damage, but it's not going to do anything, and Valda will even find a second on top of that, a third in the round. He's on 16k. Snappy's pretty close, and Sampaius is there and thereabouts as well. It has been complete or dominance, really, from Ence in these last 7 rounds after losing the initial 3, and Big need to mount a comeback in this first half, or this one could be over very, very quickly, as it hasn't looked all that competitive whatsoever. You can see Big with another little half bite. The A execute didn't work out. They're going to try something else, but Thompson going down through the smoke is not going to help things whatsoever.
A lot of these rounds have been fairly quick as well, right? I mean, I don't remember the last time Ence actually dropped more than 2 members in a round. It should have been a big round, because I don't think Ence have actually won so many closer rounds. Most of them have been pretty well contained and controlled. This one might be yet another.
Fabian with a nice headshot with that deagle, but Valda from this short position has been absolutely pivotal to that B hold and that B success. Is 13-3. He stands on the scoreboard, and the round difference now increases to 5 between the international lineup and the Germans.
Yeah, Vaud is playing one of his best maps so far, individually at least in the tournament. This is the performance that you'd expect from a person, you know, of his caliber and of his experience, especially with time. I feel like he's going to be one of the Ence players that individually is just progressively going to start becoming better and better with time, you know, getting used to having those roles with more responsibility. But speaking about responsibility, he's actually going to be key to on the AWP in this one, and he's already picked up the opening kill onto Sampaius. A nice boost towards top middle. That's going to initiate the aggression coming in for Ence. But Madden getting that 1-for-1 is going to keep them in the round just for now, especially after Favin gets that first kill onto Valda. Still, it becomes really tough now for Ence, and you got to feel like they need to look for something else.
Well, they've seen the aggression come in towards A, so they're taking the reaction. They're going to head over towards B, where Snappy is alone for the minute, but it's a gamble play coming in here from Ence, and it's a really good call. I really like this. Pretty much a percentage play, but they've got plenty of money, so they won't be saving just yet. They'll try and get into position to deal with this, and everybody should be here ready and waiting. But Sin finds that kill onto Diha. Snappy's going to try and put a stop to them as they make their way out. Snappy still behind the bench. He's going to be dealt with by Tabson, and it's down to just Madden. Finds the first, won't get a second. Sin stops him, and finally, Big pick up a gun round. Needed to find the entry. Eventually they do, and there's a bit of venom in those high fives. A little bit of frustration maybe finally being released as they have something to celebrate for the first time in a while.
Yeah, the problem is that you again just play into them, right? You just know that Ence had the right idea about the round. They aggress towards the ramp, they get a 1 versus 1, they just leave A and go over for the B-bomb side play, even though they have a lot of money, right? So even if they gotta save, they will, regardless of the cash. But a 3-man stack works out perfectly well. It doesn't work out perfectly in the end, but the call was the right one. And Keto's actually picked up another opening kill. Okay, the new main opener maybe.
Definitely making an account of
What's
himself.
going on?
Keto, triple entry out towards A. Absolutely no bother for him. Picked up a thing or two in the Academy League and showing what he can do now that he's back in the main lineup. And surely he's on for the ace now. Snappy is going to be hurt, and Keto's going to look for it. Oh, misses that shot, and he will get punished. Now, this one could still go alright for Big, but luckily Sin gets out towards the ramp in the nick of time, bails out his mate Crimbo. And, well, thanks to Keto, he really bailed out Big in that round. Let's have a look at it from his point of view once again. Massive shot onto the first. Needed to find the refrag and actually got the better of Sampaias in that one in the end. Really nicely done. 8-5, Big slowly bringing it back, and Ence go for their first tactical timeout, realizing, you know, they had a really good lead. They played superbly to get it into that position, but need to make sure that they close out this half with at least one of the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, tactical timeout as well coming in. This one is proving to be quite a close one. Keto stepping up in the last 2 rounds, but he's been the only one to kind of step it up, right? We had a talk like that about that before the start of the game, and you know, Searson not being around makes it, well, a little bit tougher in terms of the killing department for Big, and they need someone to deliver those big numbers. And so far it's been Keto getting that 4K in this round, the opening kill onto Sampaias once again in the round beforehand. You've been single-handedly not only delivering numbers, but you've been making sure that Sampaias doesn't really get to participate in the round all that much, which is going to be a difference maker in the end of the day. You know, Sampaias is the highest rated player so far in the tournament after the first 4 rounds, or after the first 4 games, should I say. He's been looking fairly decent. Currently standing on 1.28. Only one above him is Lonex. He's on 1.31. Currently as well playing against Gamer Legion. Sprout in the lead, 5 and 4. That's over at the A stream. They're on the CT side of Overpass as well. But back here on Mirage, a bit of a slower round, isn't it? Big just trying to control the pace. Looking for some aggressive maneuvers from the CT side. Nothing like that really happening. Well, they have established control towards middle, and Valde is going to start closing out the distance towards top mid any moment now, but they're just trying to bait him in, and surely the flash is going to give it away. Surely they know that Valdes went for a play like that.
Well, they don't see all that much, and, well, Thompson,
no idea.
Completely unaware. No. Hasn't a clue. Hasn't a Scooby. He is going to go down. Crimbo over the top of that stairs smoke. Madden finds the headshot, and Dia gets into position to make sure nobody creeps through connector. Once again, Keto gets the refrag onto Valde. Very important. Keeps the bomb in play. And now makes his way over towards that A site. Madden behind triple D. Is just on the stairs. He's going to peek out, spots out Favin, who gets under back safely, but 6 seconds, not a lot of time. Madden just needs to deny the plant. Oh, runs out of bullets. Eventually he will do it, and that's the round. Keto can't do much about it. He has to hold on, doesn't want to get reset again. Very important, and keeps the up in play as well. 9-5, really nice round there from Ence.
Yeah, that was a little bit funky there for a second for Madden, but still, as soon as he wins that first fight, this is round over. And once again, the aggression from Valde, the timing on this one was absolutely impeccable, right? There was a player from Big holding for that just 5 seconds ago, and Valde catches a perfect timing, gets the free kill onto Tapson. That's a lot of information as well, because he spots the bomb. And seeing Kiddo run back, that gave it away to Ence that it was indeed going to be an A play. Big, after the really slow and passive default the last round, they will try and switch it up again, set up Keto for an early fight towards middle. But this time around, it's actually Ence playing it a little bit more passive than Sampaias. He's got his number. Finally, Sampaias, after going down in their last 2 encounters, manages to get the better of Keto.
Yeah, if he goes down 3 times in a row, right, it's a little bit embarrassing taking down.
Yeah,
by,
Keto's not technically an old.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He
was
secondary
secondary AWP on Big Academy.
Yeah, you needed to get that one just to for confidence sake for Pius. There's a secondary op in the equation in the hands of Snappy right now, as Big are going to try and make it snappy and get out towards this safe site. Now, the mollies and smokes do go down. They need to just get across and get this bomb plant. D is going to walk through that smoke. Sin is going to be holding for it, and Sin's going to be ready for it. Headshot landed, bomb down, but Crimbo falls as well through that smoke. Oh, Valde going to be unchecked, and Tabson, that will cost him his life. Pius creeps in from CT and needs to spot out at least one of these two players. Knows that Sin is towards jungle, but completely unaware where Favin resides.
Yes, and Pius, he's just trying to make noise right now. He wants to make sure that Snappy's going to be able to win that fight, but Sin with an instant headshot is going to put him to sleep, and that should be the rounds. And Pius, he's thinking about the save. Now he's realized this is the final round of the half. You got to try and go for it. A little bit off the mark there with the flick. That actually had a lot of potential, but Favin is still going to win that fight. Gets his
game going over on the A stream as well. Sprout currently in the lead, 7-4. Sprout would need a victory to tie up with whoever comes out on top in this best of one. But it's looking more and more likely. Another B pistol coming in. This time Ence are going to try and get the better of Big. Let's see if they're going to have a similar success. And well, starting things off, it's gone very well.
Yeah, double entry there. Tapson finally manages to fight back with another one, but no defuse kit on the CT side is going to make the retake nearly impossible, especially with losing more members.
Yeah, they're just hemorrhaging players here in this pistol, and not really a lot you can do at all. Keto and Crimbo now maybe just thinking about the save. Crimbo might just do exactly that, but oh, Pius actually falling, so unable to connect on the headshot. Crimbo is going to give him another opportunity, and one that he grasps with both hands. It's Ence taking the T pistol and taking a 4-round lead. Big surely don't go for a force in this round. Surely just play out the USPs, hope for a little bit of damage, and play for the guns very early on, as Ence now definitely in the driving seat.
Yeah, this one is a really tough one for Big right now. It's a hard pill to swallow. Well, essentially Ence will still walk into the stack there, so if there is any chance whatsoever that Big were to pick up an eco, that would have been it.
Surely not, though. Surely the MAC-10s just absolutely tear them to shreds. The AK will do it with the...
I'm just trying to be optimistic for the big boys, you know?
Yeah, you're trying to wish it into existence. That's what you're trying to do. Use the caster curse for evil and not for good, but good always prevails, and Ence prevail in that round. No hassle at all, no problems, as we see the guns up from the big boys.
(11-6). Another pistol round victory for Ence, by the way. I think, actually, this pistol round in the first half was actually only the second round that Ence have dropped throughout this entire day, which is crazy to think of, right? We spoke about it in the start of the day that those guys are really good with picking up the pistols and their conversions. They've been able to do it again, but Tapson now on the M4 is going to drop Snappy early on. Conversions in the bag. But you still need to make it work with the big guns. And after losing your IGO early on, now you're left with a thumb in your mouth and trying to find your way back into the round. Boost. I'm pretty sure that's been heard by Madden, so he should know there was two players nearby. Valda, he's really important now. Gets one. Does he get a second? Oh, nearly. Tapson does manage to take him down. But still, that's a lot of information for Ence to work with.
Yeah, they still need to find the kills, though, and try not to lose any players in the meantime. Molly goes in. Favin has to try and get that smoke down, and will do so. He has taken a lot of damage. Favin looks towards ladder, but Sampaya still gets the better of him. Look at the HP, though, on the Ence boys. 17, 41, and 25. It's not a lot. You can't really go into any fight with really full confidence. And Crimbo, super aggressive towards the B apartments. D decides to get a little bit aggressive towards the window, but Sin is going to be holding through that murder hole, and he's got plenty of vision. Now, the palace position from Tabson could be completely overlooked here, as they don't see anyone towards A, and well, the bomb isn't even tapped, and Tabson's already out. There's one, there's two, there's the round.
Yeah, and they knew Tapson was aggressive, but in this scenario, you just kind of have to bet on the fact that he's not going to peek initially on the back of just the tap of the bomb, right? You got to hope that he's going to stay tucked and potentially be afraid about you faking it out and trying to bait him out into a peek because he was low on HP. But Tapson, being low on HP, he realizes that even if he goes down, it's not such a massive trouble. He can actually peek for information and cause some havoc that's going to be utilized by his teammates. Or at least by his teammate that was nearby towards CT spawn. So good teamwork there, even though he does manage to pick up both kills in the end. The tactical timeout once again for Ence. So, as we spoke about him quite a lot earlier today, one of the more vocal coaches. Speaking of vocal coaches, by the way, because we had a conversation like that for Barry and, you know, Sprout, we have, I'd say that Gobby is maybe the most vocal coach that we have at the tournament right now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would really argue that one.
Yeah, he's like the well, I was about to say like the Sonic of Big. I guess that's a bit right, but he gives me, you know, he gives us dangerous vibes as well. Like he's the FNX. He's the coach that you don't really dare to say anything to. He's like, when he's speaking, everybody else shuts up and they listen, which is great.
It's always a good thing when you listen to your coach.
Yeah. He's got a lot of authority.
And a lot of experience that a lot of players would be ridiculous to question. I think every player would be ridiculous to question. So knows what he's talking about. And I would entrust him to maybe pull Big back in this game. But it's not going right initially. Keto, with that aggressive peek towards Palace, got shut down by Valde. And Big are trying to nullify this advantage, but they're looking for any players, and Ence are not giving them anything whatsoever. They're still playing very, very passive, still completely unaware of what's going on. Big, they don't really have all that much information. 2 on each bomb site, but as the smokes begin to go down, they might start taking a few more risks.
Yeah, Tapson gonna spot the Oper smoke, though is gonna delay them for a little bit longer. Still, Tapson needs to get away from there. Get spotted as well, and even though there's a couple pistols and a couple Galils there in the mix, they are still in a good spot, and Madden, he's just gonna burn down. Quite unfortunate for him. Molo HE combo doesn't really spare him.
Tapson now on the site. Oh. There's a quick double. Valde stops him at least, and it's a 2 versus 2. Not ideal right now for Ence, but they make it work. Valde with another. There's a third, and now bomb is going to be planted. Crimbo now rotating on in and making no secrets about it either. They know exactly where he's coming from. And Valde, he might push through the murder hole and go for the massive flanks. And Pius just needs to buy time here. He just really needs to stay alive. And he's tucked behind triple. Crimbo goes searching. Eventually he's going to jump down. So Pius is going to go for a peek out. Catches Crimbo by surprise. And Valde not needed. Ence at 12. And extend their lead to 5 once again.
Yeah, that was a great move once again from Valde, right? Really decisive in the post plan. Starts things off in the round, and he was about to finish it off again. Tapson with a lovely combo onto Madden. Makes it a really one-dimensional take there for the side of Ence, but that opening kill onto Faven really does help them out to make their way onto the bomb side. And the post plan, even though Pius gets the kill, it was always going to be an Ence round. 12-7. Another eco on the horizon for Big. More pistols in the mix. Trying to do as much damage as possible. Although so far Ence have been pretty much picture perfect in those rounds, which is nice to see. We've been speaking about them the entire day. You know, they're really good conversion against the pistols after winning the pistol round themselves. Anti-ecos, anti-forces. They've been really methodical since gathering up this lineup. Not really the team that you'd expect to flop a big amount of those rounds. And especially in BO1s, those could be the game changers. Getting all the bonus rounds, all the reset rounds. That really does make the difference in the end of the day. As we're not speaking about a long BO3 series. A couple rounds could be pivotal. Another one though, coming up 13-7. And you gotta feel like this is the most important round for Big so far. Double AWP as well for Faven and Keto. They invest everything that they have. If this one doesn't work out, we could be looking at a 14-7 with no money on Big.
Ooh. Oh, they might just walk right into Sampaio here. Oh, he didn't actually even connect on the shot.
Not a single point of damage.
Oh, look at that. Pre-fire from Dia. Keto didn't stand a chance at all. Dia just overwhelms him and might just go in with these flashes. Needs to find the player that got away. Sampaio, he will cut off the rotate at least. Eventually, Crimbo is going to show himself, but still on the site, deploys the smoke, tries to create a little bit of space for himself, but Sampaio walks on with that AWP, connects on yet another shot. Snappy drops in, and it's down to just Tabston. No chance in the round, surely, and he might even go down. Snappy will find him, and that is a relatively clean round. Everything worked out there for Ence in every single regard. And look at Big's money now. It's absolutely shattered once again. You're 14-7 down, and Ence might have just secured themselves at least tied for first place.
Yeah, that was just a great call from Ence, right? They were absolutely prepared for that double push towards the B apartments. They had the AWP holding, and even though he doesn't manage to land the shot, it's enough to bait out the shot from the other side's AWP, and enabling Diha to go for the white peak, and the free kill opens up the bomb site completely. A lot of middle presence simultaneously as well, something that we didn't really manage to catch because we were really occupied with the action happening towards the B bomb site, but Snappy did manage to find a couple kills there. Oh, that's a nice flash, and Keto manages to get the kill. He's gonna get a free upgrade as well. There's no one nearby to try and recover that one, and especially with this being just the half buy for Big, getting it under their belts could be a massive boost of confidence and economy.
Would really keep them in with a chance of the game as well. I mean, 15-7 is a difficult comeback even for Big. Well, Ence making light work of the rest of these players, and Tabson only finds one with that stolen AK away. Valde was quite unlucky in that fight, to be honest, towards the ramp. One more bullet would have done him. Instead, he gets taken down completely blind, and now we do stare down the barrel here of maybe a big defeat. Ence just need one more round. They're going to have 8 chances to do it. And depending on what happens in the Sprout Gamer Legion game, it could lock in that first place and go directly into the semi-finals. I believe that Sprout game is currently 9-6 over at the A stream, so very, very close, and Gamer Legion could do them a massive favor, but they still need to close out this game here, and that's a wonderful way to start it for Big. Super aggressive towards mid. They find a double, and Sampaio and Madden will play no further part in round 23.
Yeah, Sin needs to be really careful though, because he's going to be all alone, and Ence realize that. They know that if there is a player towards the back of the side, there's not going to be any support for him, but Sin manages to win his fight against Snappy. And that's going to guarantee his safety for just a little bit longer, and maybe Big's safety in this game for a little bit longer, unless we witness a 2 versus 5, which at this point, with how crazy some of those games have been, I'm not going to be surprised at, but surely Big just get a couple on the board here. Try and play for the round difference, even if you feel like an overtime could be a little bit far-fetched. You just hold on and hope that Big are going to walk into, or, well, at least give you chances to dwindle their economy even further.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for max damage here. You're looking for somebody to overextend into a fight that they maybe don't need to give away a 1v1, or maybe you get lucky with a little bit of a transfer, as Ence still don't really see the point in saving, so they will go for these kills. They will try and swing wide. Diha gets 1, but now has to go alone. 20 seconds, see what more damage he can do, and the answer is no more. Gets taken down by Tabson. 4 survive for Big, and at least they will have a buy, a decent buy for the rest of the game, it would so seem, as now Sampaio purchases up an AWP. The buy on the other side is beginning to dwindle a little bit. The economy not looking as strong as it has done in recent memory. So this, if it doesn't go Ence's way, might be their last chance for at least a round or 2.
Yeah, another buy on the cards though. Some early presence towards middle. There is a bit of a gap for the Oper to work with. Madden still tucked in towards top middle, and it feels like he's just going to wait it out. And Valdes actually picked up the opening kill, and even though Tabson finds a refrag there, that's going to open up a lot of space towards middle. Madden needs to be careful, has to get away at least with 1 kill.
Favin with the AWP just being toyed with here by Sampaio. He's thinking about going for that peek on out. That smoke will just block his line of sight and block his vision. Sampaio and Valdes so low on the side of Ence here. big.
Oh,
Need to find these kills. That's a massive shot from Keto. Dia takes him down, and there's a double. And now it's a 2 versus 2. And Tabson and Crimbo, they're not looking too healthy either. This is not out of the woods just yet. A minute on the clock. Dia can just sit here and let Valde play, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
47 versus 45 HP right now in favor of Ence. And look at the rap. Valde needs to be quiet, and he's realized it, but Tabson, he's clocked in. This is such a smart move. Turns around, knows what's going on. Dia now. Does he realize that one player is towards Ticket? Only if he knew the low HP, he's gonna spam him through. There's the headshot. And now it's a 1 versus 1. He knows exactly where Tabson was. But look at the reposition. And Tabson, he's gonna be so quick towards CTD. Does he realize it?
Absolutely no idea. Tabson's big brain pulls him through with that one. Big will stay alive. They will get 9. They'll save an 8 WP as well. But Tabson just realizing, all right, a lot of time has passed there. Maybe I should check my flank. Maybe I should check towards middle, and turned around in the nick of time. Keeps them alive, keeps them in the game, and are now only 6 behind.
$15-9. Still though, the bomb plant and the damage is going to be all right for Ence, right? I mean, you get the bomb down. There's not going to be that safety of a reset for Big, where they're going to be playing only against the upgraded pistols. Yeah, true. Valde still has a Tech 9, but utility's looking good. Rifles still of plenty. And once again, they're going to send Madden for an early opening towards the A-bomb side. In fact, it's going to be pretty much the same round as the previous one. Only difference being that Snappy's actually going to rejoin with his teammates. They're not going to have that mid lurk this time around.
Oh. Not good. Not good. Sin down towards Ticket. Sampaius with a massive headshot. Tabson's going to be smoked off. Favin needs to do a little bit of work with that AWP, but flashed off the angle. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome, even though Crimbo is there to offer his support in terms of a rifle. Smokes go down. So will the bomb. And if Big lose another player, their chances in this round go down massively.
Oh, Crimbo needs to be careful. Madden is so close. Does he realize it? No. Crimbo seems to have no idea. That's going to be a free kill. Surely Madden does manage to do the damage, but off the mark with the kill. Still a 4 versus 5. They need to get a move on, though.
All retaken there from CT. Madden will get 2. Sampaius will get 1, and it's down to just Crimbo. And Crimbo's dealt with. Valde finds the headshot. It's 16-9, and Ence will top Group A. Sprout, will they be able to join them? I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see how that other game plays out. But